Hello my lovelies, welcome back to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you, you're awesome. Thank you very much for coming back. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I promise I don't bite. Mostly. And today I want to talk about these honest feelings that I go through and have been through during my transition before HRT and during HRT. Because I feel like sometimes when you're looking at other transgender YouTubers, you see these amazing YouTubers who look so beautiful, and sometimes you don't see their beginning process, and that's fine. But I kind of want to give the honest reality sometimes of transition, and this is another kind of mentality feel, and I want to kind of talk about, I suppose it's imposter syndrome. I'm not entirely sure if it is imposter syndrome or maybe just feeling like a fraud, but that's kind of what I want to talk about because I want to be honest about my feelings and my journey and just share some of the potential realities of what it's like to become a trans woman. At the end of the day, my feelings and outlook will probably change the more I start to become the woman that I'm meant to be. But whilst we're still in the early transition phase, I should probably at least try and keep a record of what my current feelings are and have been, whilst I still can retain a memory of them at least, because yeah, at least then it can be looked back upon for those who also might go through those certain struggles. But I also think it'd be kind of awesome just to look back at myself and just see how much I've grown as a person, how much more confident I grow as I develop throughout these new years of my life. I just think it would be a really interesting thing to look back upon and just to feel proud of myself as I grow. So without further ado, let's go into some of these problems that I have faced and how I kind of dealt with them or am dealing with them at the moment. So I kind of want to go into one of my first things that when I kind of started coming out as a woman, I started telling some of my friends. I used to play 8-ball pool as a team, and one of the girls there was getting married. Because I was in my early pre-HRT stage and kind of started coming out, I was invited to a hen night, and as much as I appreciated the acceptance of being accepted as a woman, I, for some strange reason, couldn't come to terms with accepting that invite because I felt like I would be some sort of imposter among a group of women. I know that if I had gone, I wouldn't be cis, and I would have probably felt some sort of discomfort because of confidence, I suppose. I guess it was a very early phase. If I got invited to a hen night, I would certainly accept this time round. But at that time, I struggled because I just felt like I was cheating some sort of social system, if you know what I mean. Like, I just felt like I was kind of just getting the best of both worlds, I guess, and I didn't want it to appear that way. I don't know, it just felt really hard. Like I didn't deserve to be there, I guess. It was just such a really weird moment for me, but yeah, that was one moment in my time where I just felt this kind of imposter syndrome. Another thing is I didn't use public bathrooms because I wasn't sure which one was socially acceptable for me to use. Because I'm now dressing up as female, I felt wrong to go in the men's bathroom, but because I was also like only just coming out, and because I've been using the men's bathroom for my entire life at that time, I felt like it would be a very bad move to use the women's bathrooms. And that is something I will come on later on, because it isn't an easy one to kind of discuss because legalities and all that stuff. But I quite often, if I could, would use a disabled toilet just to kind of avoid that potential issue. But it also kind of brought up the issue that I wasn't disabled, so I also felt like I shouldn't be using the disabled toilets either. But it was kind of like, what choice did I have? This also briefly applied to me for using changing rooms as well for buying clothes, but I kind of grew past that one rather quickly. I can talk about that one now. Is that basically on my first day of actually going to buy clothes publicly for the first time, I asked the sales girl if it was okay if I could use the changing room, the changing room to basically try out the clothes. Weirdly, they said, let me go ask, because I guess they were new or wasn't sure themselves. But they asked someone higher up, and they said, no, that's perfectly fine. Don't ever feel like you need to ask. And so at that point, I didn't ask anymore. I felt socially accepted that I could use the female changing room, because at the end of the day, all I'm doing is changing clothes. I just want to try out the clothes and see how I look. So after that, yeah, it's a little scary, but as you kind of grow in confidence, you kind of just flick it away. Another one that I had with this kind of like feeling of fraudulence or imposter syndrome is being referred to as a group with a group of other girls and being called the girls. Now, don't get me wrong, it felt really nice, inclusive, and it felt like as if they were treating me as if I've never been a guy in my life before, and that really felt so nice to me. It felt like I'd been accepted, but I still couldn't help bat away this feeling of feeling like I wasn't worthy of being referred to as one of the girls. Like, I think it's because that I know that I'm not a cis woman and I never will be, but it felt nice to be accepted. But I guess there was just this kind of feeling that was just kind of pushing me away, as if to say, you don't deserve this. But I think there is a slight way to kind of battle through these sort of feelings for the most part. And one of those things that I kind of found is that as I developed more and started growing more confident with myself, basically just being who I am, I started to accept myself that I am a woman. But yeah, I think it comes down to basically fighting what you believe your own categorization of woman is meant to be. You may still feel like a sense of fraudulence of sorts or feel like an imposter, but the more you start to kind of deal with it in your own way by doing what you feel is right at the time in certain situations, or just being put in those certain situations, you start to believe other people's acceptances of you being a woman, and you start to forget about your own self-doubt. So like I was saying about that hen night thing, if I was invited to a hen night again, then I would accept it, because I have been put in so many situations of so many social positions now, and being accepted as female, that I believe it now. I still have things that I want to sort out with myself and fix, like basically the things that I don't like, but I am happy to accept being a woman. So again, with like the situation of being referred to with as a group, or just even just saying how is my favorite gal, or the group, here comes the gals or something, that kind of thing. Because I've been referred to it so many times, it becomes just another social norm, and you just come to believe it yourself because everyone else believes it, and that's fine. That makes me feel more confident in myself, because I feel like I've been accepted. Yeah, I just feel more happy to be me now. The other one that I had trouble with was toilets. I still do have some issues with using the women's toilets, but not as much as I used to. Not to mention I do struggle with paruresis. I think that's right, paruresis. So that makes things slightly more awkward. But as I kind of gradually progressed with myself, I started to kind of just take small steps to using the women's bathroom. I got this confidence from work, because at work they basically said it is fine to use the female bathrooms. It's fine. And if you do have any issues with other people, then let us know. And I haven't had any issues, but you do face these issues where you feel like if you walk in that you're being stared at. And yeah, I think there is a sort of balance that you need to kind of work out with yourself and how others might portray you, I guess. I think it's kind of like something to be mindful of, I guess. Not to mention that certain places have different legalities as well, so it's kind of something that you have to probably look into yourself, regarding whichever country you might be in. But yes, for me, my confidence to use the bathroom again has grown a bit more now, and I think that kind of helps, and helps get rid of that feeling of feeling like an imposter. So yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna end it off here. Again, it feels like I've given some sort of opinion of sorts. It's not that I'm trying to like give an opinion, it's just kind of me giving my outlook of how I've dealt with things, but it might also help you to deal with your things as well. But yeah, I am going to end it off here. So if you've watched to the end of this video, then thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And regardless if you're a new person or a returning viewer, then I hope to see you in the next video. Yeah. Take care of yourself.